Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube?
What's up out there, everybody?
It's SEL0320.
Y'all, this is your boy Joe Johnson. What's up? So this is JVS, you know what I'm saying, here doing the spoiler review for the, this Ball of Mud and Madness, the newest episode of the Gotham series.
14th episode, y'all.
So 14th episode. One thing I think talking about this episode, like, you have to talk about first, Bruce Wayne and his development as a character. The character development in his character this episode just went from like 3 to 10. Just within this one episode, because he not only does he confront Matches, his parents' killer. And one thing going by in this episode, like, we didn't know as viewers, A, was Matches really his parents' killers? Or B, is Bruce Wayne really gonna kill him?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
But I found it interesting that the fact that, Matches, did he confess to actually killing Bruce's parents? And then that whole interaction of them talking, it got really heavy and really deep, as to where, you will see Matches. I almost viewed Matches as Bruce Wayne if he went down, if he's like the opposite of Batman, the polar opposite. But you can tell, like, he still has, like, moral convictions, just as, a man. Bruce Wayne said, "You're not a monster, you're a man." Even after, like, he killed his parents and everything like that. That was just nuts.
Yeah.
That was just nuts. He put the gun on the table and was like, man, like, he just walked out. And then that moment, like, Gordon came in and he, like, Matches had killed himself. Like, that was... I didn't expect any of that to go down like the way it did. And it really was solid,
Mm-hmm.
It really was solid. That part was just perfect for me. I couldn't have imagined it going down any better than the way it did.
Yeah, I mean, even like the end of that, like with Bruce leaving a letter for Alfred. And by the way, like, my side of my face, because I'm have some Delta words, it's gonna be really hard for me to actually talk. Yeah. That's the reason I'm not as like energetic as I normally am. But the latter portion of it, where Bruce leaves a letter for Alfred and basically saying, "Look, I'm gonna be living on the streets, like with Selina. I'm not going out mugging people. I'm not going out trying to be a vigilante. I need to understand, breathe, live in this city so that I can actually really make a difference. I can't do that from the cave. I can't do that from Wayne Enterprises. I have to know the people that I'm trying to help. I have to be able to be inside of this world so I can be able to stop it." And that's one of the things that defines him, like, as Bruce Wayne, like that understanding of living on the streets and eventually going into, dealing with the League of Shadows and just learning the scope of how people work. He's getting there, but I think that in this episode he learned the interest. That's because when he was going, even with Alfred, that whole fight stuff situation, but more than anything, when he went to that club and met up with that person Jerry, and just like, he really was kind of like a fish out of water. Like, he was like a caged animal, basically, from my observation of him internally. But he really was like a fish out of water. He had never experienced or seen things like that. And then even like him kind of walking to Selina's location, you saw somebody get shot in the car while he's walking down the street, And so these are things, the pivotal moments that he has to learn as Batman. I think that was one of the staple marks of this episode. Even for Gordon, to me, like, this is redemption for him. Because I said the last episode that the only person that can really try to stop him in this is going to be Gordon. Because that's what he looks up to as a father figure, you know what I'm saying? And for Gordon, it's more like, all right, if I can stop him, then I can preserve what's part of my soul, And I respected that. That's one of the things that I was hoping for. And I think the whole way that they handled it is the reason why I gave it like 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was a really defining episode. Is there anything else you could think of with the Nygma friend or with Penguin? Because you saw more of the Penguin stuff than I did.
Well, I mean, I kind of got to talk about Bruce a little bit more too. I like the fact that he's making his own decisions. And I like how the fact that, that Gordon didn't necessarily stop him. He tried to help him. But it was a decision that Bruce hadn't made on his own. I really like that. Nygma's paranoid, y'all. Nygma's like super paranoid, right? So, Gordon is he's not necessarily investigating at this point. He's just looking into, what's up with Miss Kringle. Like, how come she hasn't cashed in her checks? You know what I'm saying? Where's she been? He's just like, well, he's looking into it. And he happened to ask Nygma, he was like, have you heard from Kringle? And then Nygma's kind of like, talking to him. He's like, no, he denied everything. But after Gordon is leaving, he's like, this guy is so paranoid. He's like, oh, you have plans, Gordon? He's talking to himself and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, you have plans, Gordon? I can make plans myself. And it's like, bro, like, chill. Like, he's not even, like, thinking about you. You know what I'm saying? He's out here trying to save Bruce or whatever. But Nygma is so paranoid. It's so funny to watch him. And then on the back end of that, you have Penguin, who's, he's going through, like, these pretty much mental therapy or torture, if you will, and then these tests. And, I mean, they've really did an overhaul on his psyche because, I mean, he's actually, and at first I thought he was kind of like, playing, just going along with it, and not really changed. But this guy, he's totally different. They've did something totally different with his mind, man, and he's actually, trying to be like a good person or a good character. And there's one part like he has a final test was when he had a knife, and this guy, the big giant buff dude, he was like
the ice cream guy.
The ice cream guy, yeah. And it was that part was hilarious too. He was like, "You have ice cream? I don't want ice cream." It was just so funny. But that guy, he had an opportunity where he could really get revenge on this guy, but he doesn't. He spares him. And that was just like, what? That's not Penguin right there. We're not watching Penguin. This is someone else. And and then he ends up getting released. So he's back on the streets, and we'll see what takes place in the next episode.
Yeah, Mrs. Peabody, she confronts Hugo basically and was like, you sure you want to put him on the streets? You don't want to at least let police know? He's like, nah. Like, and she was like, he was like, no, I don't want you to know anything because I don't want you, kind of be involved in what I have to take care of. And she's like, oh, you're talking about the monsters you're creating down in the basement? I was like, oh, snap. And the other thing about that is like with the Nygma thing, that's playing into the next episode because basically Nygma is creating these special kind of games to discredit or try to make Gordon squeal. And that's the thing about Nygma. Like, if you know his character profile, he always finds a way of making people point that finger back to him. It's like within a riddle. It's like he can't leave it alone. It's like his paranoia or schizophrenia, whatever you want to call it, literally points the finger right back to himself. And it's like, not that he wants to get found out, but subconsciously he does.
Yeah.
And I think that's a guilt-driven thing, the reason why he's doing this to himself, basically. But we're going to see where it goes coming the next episode.
So my predictions is like, like, they showed in like the clip out of the episode that, Gordon was kind of getting attention as far as the murder of Gallivant. Yeah. And his defense was somebody set me up. So I'm thinking the whole Nygma thing might lessen his sentence or pretty much get the heat off of him, because I think that everything that Nygma might play out to do is gonna look like he's being set up. So, but I'm interested to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean the bad thing is it's all pointing to Penguin. The Penguin was the one that really killed Gallivant, and Penguin was the one that had a connection with Nygma and Gordon. Yeah. So
Penguin, he might tell the truth now that he's rehabilitated.
Oh God. But anyway, I gave this episode 8.5 out of 10. Joe gave it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good, insightful episode. I didn't even see all the episode, and I really enjoyed it. I think it was a pivotal moment for this series in general. But anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed the spoiler-filled review. Be back as soon as I can. Try to give y'all some more up-to-date information. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Peace, y'all.